Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, we ended up making the Ember boar from Embers. We're going to start getting into Embers today. So what I started to do off camera and preparing for this episode was I updated the mod pack to the latest version of this beta test that we're doing. And then I looked at my storage here, and I was like, okay, so we got a lot of things on this third tab. All right, we got a lot of things on this third tab here. Let's start condensing some things. So I went and I grabbed all the ores that we had and I smelted it using our Endless Furnace. That's now got the efficiency and speed upgrade in there. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I didn't use that much, like maybe 11 pieces of tiny coal, if that, to smelt down quite a lot of stuff. And I took all of the ingots that we had, well, pretty much all of them, that we had multiple stacks of, and compressed them all into blocks, right? Just so we could save space. Well, here's the thing, though. Iron, for instance, yeah, we have all these blocks of iron. We have one iron ingot. If we go and take this iron and put it into our crafting grid, we can't do anything with this iron block now. We were able to freely convert it between block form and ingot form before, but now, yeah, you need a special machine to unblockify it. Now, we know this is going to happen throughout the mod pack, but this caught me by surprise. So if we look at the uses on this block here, we can see that, yeah, if we scroll through this, there is no block to ingot recipe as we're aware of now, but it looks like we can melt it down into molten iron and cast it out, which we could do, but that's pretty slow. But I think the intended path is for us to use the Factorizer from thermal expansion. So in order to do what we need to do here, we have to make one of these. Now, this isn't super expensive, but it does require us to have some red alloy ingots, an iron ingot, lead ingots, more iron for the iron gears, and this device frame, which is copper gears and tin. Well, we don't have a way to make gears yet, so I think the very first thing we should do is figure out how to make a gear cast so we can cast those out in the smeltery and make ourselves some gears. Now this, if we go to the very last tab, shows that we can use a stone gear to make this cast. So we need to get ourselves a stone gear. So that is with 4 cobblestone and 4 sticks. So that's pretty easy to do. I think you can use this cobblestone. I don't think it has to be vanilla. So actually, let me put this other stuff away. So 4 cobblestone and 4 sticks. Sort that all. Okay, so cobble and sticks, and there we go. So there's that. So we're going to need some gold or aluminum brass, but we're going to use gold because it's easier to make the mold out of. And then we're going to need copper. And I guess we'll retrieve the extra copper out of the smeltery by casting ingots. We're going to need iron. I think it was 2 iron gears that we needed, right? So iron gear, and then we're going to need extra iron ingots as well. So I'll bring another block of that. What else do we need here while we're over at the smeltery? We need tin. And we are going to need tin ingots. Okay. Yep, fun stuff. This is things that we will know about, like if we were playing the mod pack and everything was all set. But yeah, the pack is in development. Things are changing. And things like this can happen. So it's not a big deal. It's just kind of caught me by surprise. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just clean up our inventory and now we can't do anything at all until we get this sorted. Well, anyway, let me go ahead and unblockify all this. I'll make the gears and all this kind of stuff through a smeltery, and we'll be right back, guys. All right, well, here we go. Everything is now crafted, and here's our Factorizer. I'm not sure if we get a reward for doing that or not. It does not appear so. Okay, so Factorizer, we're going to set this down. And combine or split? Well, I think we want to split, right? So if we take a block of tin and we put this in here, we get ourselves the tin ingots. And if we go to combine, we get ourselves the block. Okay, I mean, oh boy. Can I turn nuggets into ingots? I didn't even look at this yet. Is that a thing? So you can still turn nuggets into ingots, but blocks into ingots, you need the Factorizer. I'm not really sure what the logic is behind that, but it's a thing. This is Kappa mode, so we just go with it, huh? Okay, well, getting back to our quest. Now that we have the ability for us to split apart metal blocks and we can do things once again, I think it's time for us to progress. Now, we were talking about last episode, we sat down the Ember board, but we didn't do anything with it because I needed to get the thing that goes in the center here. So let's take a look at Ember bore once again. And that is a mechanical core. Let's get rid of these other things. We don't need those anymore. So the mechanical core does require some archaic brick electrotine ingots, iron plates, and seared bricks. Okay. I'm not sure if we have enough electrotine just yet, because I know we needed that for a previous recipe, and I think I got just enough for that recipe. Yeah, I can see right here, we only got one. So the recipe to get these are from sifting iron. I almost wonder if it would be worth it right now for us to try and get into Bibliocraft and get, what's it called? Civ Fortune on our meshes over there. That might be something worth doing. Now, we do have enchanted books. I don't remember if the Civ Fortune is in here. It doesn't look like it. It was in this one then. But it's only Civ Fortune 2. Luck of the Sea. Let's see. Projectile protection. Civ Fortune, yeah. So if we do this and we duplicate it, we can turn it into Civ Fortune 3, and then we should be able to dupe that one 9 times and put it onto that over there. Now, the other thing is, we did want to get ourselves the item repairer. So this might be the next thing that we do, actually. So the item repairer, oh, that requires TerraSteel. So that is something that we cannot do. Not yet, anyway. At least I don't think there's like a good way for us to get TerraSteel. No, I'm pretty sure we are not going to be making this item repairer for a little bit. Have we unlocked, just out of curiosity, have we unlocked anything with the Botania stuff? Looks like it's down here according to this icon. Nope, we have not done that. That requires Mystical Fertilizer, which requires Lordcraft. Right, we've already looked at this before. Okay, well, item repairer is out of the question. I don't know if there's an altar of repair from the Herbis. I don't know if there's any other way to repair items. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to be doing any cheaty stuff with the enchanted books. Well, it was a thought anyway. We'll put that away. Since we cannot do that and we need TerraSteel, it's going to be a little bit of time before we can do that. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on then. I'll go ahead and make myself another mechanical core for that guy over here. You know what? That's probably what we needed the electrotine alloy ingot for, was to make the Ember bore, because we had to make one of these before. Well, anyway, I'll go ahead and sift the stuff that we need to sift for this, get this all made, and then we'll continue on, guys. Alright, guys, well, I ended up going to the hunting dimension once again. We needed 2 archaic brick for this mechanical core, and we only had 1 remaining. So I went and I killed another golem, only dropped 4 this time. We had 5, I think, on the previous kill. But anyway, we're able to make this mechanical core now, which is awesome. So I was doing some research on Embers. I can't remember how this thing works in a skyblock world, if it needed to be exposed to void underneath or any of this stuff. And what it sounds like is this actually needs to be down at like bedrock level. It doesn't have to be placed on top of bedrock, but it does have to be at like, you know, Y3, 4, 5, something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure the specific Y level, but what I do know is that we're Y86 and that's far too high for it. So before we even like try and do anything with this, we're going to go ahead and pick it up and move it. So I was kind of looking at our resources here and things that we can do. There's elevators in this mod pack. And I think we're going to go ahead and make ourselves an elevator that goes all the way down to bedrock. Yeah, or not bedrock, but you know, the bottom of the world, since it's a sky block. So yeah, we need to get ourselves some ender pearls. We have 26. That is going to be more than enough. Now, the other thing I don't know in this mod pack is how far the elevators go. That's something we're going to have to figure out here. Let's do that. So there's 24. So that'll get us 3 elevators. If it's 20 blocks, that'll get us 60 blocks away, which we're going to need 1 more at the very least. I don't know, though, like how far this goes. So let's make 1 more elevator. 1 of those, and 1 of those. Okay, so there is 4 elevators. So that would get us down to about Y6 if it's 20 blocks per, but I don't know if it is or is not. So I guess the first thing we should do is a little test here. I keep doing that. Like I want to click things in. I'm on this middle one and I can't click it in there. So I'm thinking, if I clear this out, I can shift click, but that's not the case. I have to click on the top level one to insert stuff. Put the pearls away. Okay. So I think the first thing we need to do is to test these elevators to see how far away they do work. So I'll place one here, and then I'm going to start pillaring up. Yeah, we're just going to go up on this test. Actually, I'm going to do it over here, off the bedrock there, or off the cobblestone, I mean. So let's do 20 blocks. Well, we'll do 21. The first one, so it's at the same level. Then we'll go up 20, make sure that works, then we'll try stacking up. It might be that these have unlimited distance in Project Ozone 3. I could look at the configs, but I haven't done that yet. So this is just like a fairly easy way to test this out. So if we place the elevator here, okay, we can go up and down, no problem. So let's break this out. Oh, my magnet failed me. What's it doing? Oh no, I want it back. Okay. Oh, okay, I got it finally. Let's pillar up. I don't know. Let's go up like 5 more. That should be fine. Let's see if this still works. It does not work. So I think 20 might have been our limit here. Okay, we just went down 4 blocks. So if we can't do it here, then it is in fact 20. A thing I've also noticed with the bow, if you're holding shift, you can't scroll past the bow. It's acting like you're on, oh, I don't know, what is it? The Draconic Evolution warpy thing, where you can change if you're shift scrolling on the bow, but yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything. I'm not sure what that's for. Yeah, okay, so 20 blocks is our limit here, so we can't go any further than that. So we do need 4 of these things. Okay, well, I'm going to have the fun adventure of using Quark's place a block underneath the block and go down. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way down to like Y6, I think is how far down we can go with our current setup here. I think I'm just going to place the elevator right in the center of our grass and then try and place the elevators in that particular area all the way down. Let's go ahead and do this now. Get rid of that block, place that. Okay, so we're at Y86. The next one I need to place is at Y66. I'm going to just do this and we'll be back, guys. Well, this is interesting. So I was using the thing where you could place a block underneath the other block. And then I broke the block I was standing on, went down to that block. I was doing this over and over. Got down about, oh, I don't know, 7 or 8 blocks. And then it just kicked me off the service. It disconnected. I look over at my local server screen and it said that I was floating for too long is the reason that it kicked me. And then I log back in, and then I'm down here in the void, falling out of the world. Well, I mean, I got my key to get my... Oh, my grave is up here. Oh, that's interesting. And look, there's no cobblestone. What the heck? Okay, I'm super confused. Let's right-click that. I have all my stuff back. What? That is so weird. So again, if you guys don't know what I'm doing, if you hadn't seen this before, when you have a block here, you can place a block underneath a block like this. And then I can go down onto this block and just continue this process over and over. I'm assuming there might be some kind of a desync between the client and the server. I am playing on a local server, like I said, where the server doesn't know that I can place a block there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that, and we'll be back. All right, guys. Well, here we are down at Y level 6. Yeah, so I ended up having to make 1 extra elevator, and you can place them every 20 blocks, as we saw before. Oh, it looks like we got a hole to the void right there. Is that... No, you know what? I think that's a chest, and we're just at a render distance from it. But anyway, we got 1, 2, 3... 4 and then 5 elevators, including the one that's up in our grassy area that we can't actually see from down here. It's above the bedrock that you can barely see. So we're going to try this here. I don't know if we have to be down further than Y6, but I'm hoping that Y6 is going to be good enough. So we're going to put down the Ember borer and we'll place that right there. We'll put the mechanical core on top of it. And I'm pretty sure how this works is you just hopper in coal and then this thing... Man, I can't remember. Do you have to extract the items out or does it push them into a chest? I feel like it pushes it, but on the other hand, I feel like we might have to extract. And if that's the case, it's probably going to be a good idea for us to just go ahead and make ourselves a translocator. I can't remember, though, how this all works. It's been a minute since I last embered. Okay, so we need the red alloy and Invar. We still got a little bit of Invar redstone. We have enough here to make another red alloy ingot. So that's also iron, I do believe. We'll grab one of those. And what else do we need here? I think wood cobble. So this cobblestone should work just fine. Oh, you know what? I have cobble on me. We don't need that. We do need oak wood. Okay. I think I've made one too many, but again, doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, I need to smelt. Well, I gotta craft this and then smelt the red alloy. So there's that. We'll waste a piece of tiny coal, which is fine. It's too bad this upgrade here doesn't double it. I think the other upgrade that we can get later that doubles everything will, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so there is a piston, and in order to do other things, we need 2 more iron, a gold, and 4 redstone. Iron, gold. I think there was a pearl in there too, right? And I believe it said you can use a friender pearl. And I don't really intend on taming friendermen, so we'll just go ahead and do that. So item translocator. All right, so we should be good at this point. Let's go ahead and break this chest out of here. I did end up dying a 3rd time, guys, to that silly quark bug. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But the 3rd time that I tried dying, I placed some blocks, and then I logged out and I logged back in to see if like maybe they were only placing client side and the server didn't know about them. But yeah, they were still there when I logged back in, so the server has to know that they were there. So I started breaking those blocks and placing blocks underneath me, and then all of a sudden, the blocks I was standing on disappeared, and I fell into the void. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the it's from the Quark mod. If you guys haven't seen this yet, I mean, we talked about this before, but it's from Quark and it's under miscellaneous, and it's the reach around placing is what allows you to place one block underneath a block that you can't like, I guess, place on the surface of the bottom of it. Does that make sense? I probably explained that really weird. You guys understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, we will do this to extract any ember out, and then we will place coal in here. It sounds like the machine is running, but this does not mean that we are actually going to get ember. So it's one of those things I'm going to have to sit here and just kind of wait and see if we do collect any ember. I'll put a few more coal in here just to make sure that it keeps running. So I'll just kind of watch this thing and see. If not, we'll have to go down a few more blocks. But yeah, give me a few moments and we'll BRB. Alright guys, well I just kind of realized that I didn't really say how I got down here. I just did it the old-fashioned way by breaking a hole out, placing water, and letting it flow down, placing cobble all the way down, and then breaking out some blocks so I can stand on the cobble and place our elevators using the torch trick so I could get my air back. Yeah, that's how I got down here. Yeah. Anyway, so this is working. Again, we're at Y6. This is sitting at Y7. And it thinks that's at Y7. Does it say if we look in here, looking at, no, that's at Y6. Okay, yeah, so this machine is at Y6, and it is working, but we need to have ember crystals and these ember shards in our inventory for the quest. There we go. Now I'll take that ember grit with me. Let's get out of here, that machine's noisy. Okay, so that gets us this quest complete, which is awesome. Okay, so moving on from there, we need to do ember activation, ember manipulation, and then I'm not really sure if we have to do those for any progression, but yeah, let's do ember activation. This is pretty important for anything in embers that's going to require ember. All right, so we're going to need some copper, some iron plates, and a furnace. Well, that's pretty easy. Do we have an extra furnace? We do. I remembered making some earlier on, but I didn't know if I used them all already. All right, so 6 copper and then 2 iron. 6 copper and then 2 iron turning into plates. So that also means we're going to need the hammer. Okay. 1 plate, 2 plate. And then we should be able to make this guy. Very good. So that was a pretty easy quest. We'll claim the reward for that. And then ember manipulation wants us to make the ember emitter and the ember receptor. So this sends the ember from the thing we just made, and this receives the ember on whatever machine that we are powering with that fuel. So the ember emitter will make a thing for that one, and the receptor. Cool. So this guy does require more electrothene alloy, some tungsten, and caminite. Tungsten. We have that. Let's go back. Electro. We have that. We're gonna need some iron ingots. Okay. And yeah, the caminite stuff. This one is tungsten, electrothene, and caminite as well. Yeah, we don't have any more. Do we have any clay extra? Nah, I'm gonna have to make all that stuff again. That's fine. Okay, so we need, yeah, a whole bunch of iron turned into electrothene stuff. So that's gonna be 4 of those and half a stack of this. Well, that's easy. We'll just throw that into our furnace and cook those up. And then the tungsten, did both of those require tungsten? No, yes, they both do. So the tungsten, we have 4 ingots. That is perfect. And then again, we need this stuff, which is clay plus sand makes 8 of those. So I guess we only need 1 recipe. Okay, well, let me make that real quick and then we'll continue. And moving right along, here's our ember receptor and our ember emitter. Oh yeah. Okay, so that was pretty easy to do. We'll claim that reward. Awesome, awesome. So moving on, I think we're gonna go down this path next because these are things that are actually important to the mod. This stuff I'm really not so sure about, but I'm sure we'll make them eventually. I don't want to hold it off too long on making them, but I do know the melter is pretty important for us to make the, what is this stuff called? Like DAWNSTONE? Okay, so to make a melter, we need more of the caminite stuff. So that's 6 more total. I think I only have 4, but I did make some extra clay. So we can, you know, take some sand and some clay and make this stuff. It's really not that big of a deal. So now that we already have the clay pre-made, it's very fast to do that. So now we got 28 of those. So going back to the melter, that needs 1 caminite plate and then some of the caminite bars. Okay, so we'll just throw that into our chest here and that'll all smelt down and be ready to go. There we go, awesome. So again, another furnace. So making all those furnaces early on really wasn't a bad thing. So 2 iron and a copper. Iron. Oh, I have the iron on me, so I need copper. 2 iron and a copper. Very good. And there we go. There is a melter. So that should be another quest complete, I do believe. Claim that. Stamper is also pretty important. That will allow you to cast out ingots, or it'll allow you to make these asbestos things, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we need the stamp base. And we are going to need the stamper itself. Both of these are very important to the mod. So that's silver ingot, copper block, caminite. I don't think there's anything here that's like too crazy. Platinum, and it requires a fluid tank, iron. Yeah, everything here is pretty easy. Platinum, we should have plenty of. Yeah, we got all sorts of this stuff. All right, I'll just go ahead and craft these off camera. Well, the mixed melter and the stamper recipe, that was pretty easy to do. We have the stamp base, the melter, the stamper. We have our ember emitter, ember receptor. All that stuff's pretty easy. Mixer centrifuge is the next item that we need to make, and that requires a mechanical core, 7 iron, and a copper ingot. Again, that is not so bad to make. All right, we'll go and claim that one. So our next task is to make DAWNSTONE. And that is gold and copper alloy. It does not show the recipes in here on how to make it. I believe if we go back to this quest here, the mixer centrifuge. No, not this one. Was it the melter or the stamper? Yeah, the stamper. The ancient codex will have all the information you need. A stamper, all stamper recipes still work, but the JEI recipe category is hidden in order to remove the infinite renaming recipes. I don't know what that is. But anyway, it looks like stuff is hidden in the stamper or the JEI stuff or like all of these kinds of things. Well, anyway, we need to melt down gold. We need to melt down copper. And then that has to go into the mixer centrifuge. So I think we need to make ourselves another melter here. We're going to need the ember pipes, which we haven't done yet either. So that's this category here. So a fluid pipe is made iron ingots and an iron plate. So that's pretty easy. We do need fluid extractor, which is 2 of those pipes plus caminite plate and some redstone. Again, that's not that bad. I don't know if I've ever used the item piping before from this mod. Maybe I have. I don't really remember though. And then an item dropper. I mean, obviously it sounds like that drops an item into the world, but I don't know if I've ever used that before. But anyway, nothing here is like too crazy. So I'll just go ahead and craft all these once again off camera. Okay guys, so I was kind of checking out this item dropper. Since I don't think I've ever used this thing before, this is actually kind of cool. So you make the item pipes and then you attach the item dropper, and it appears that this item dropper will only ever face down. So if I attach it to the side here, it goes up 1 block like it's trying to connect to a pipe and it faces down. So if you place it on the ground below a pipe, it attaches to the pipe, right? So it only connects that one direction, item pipe over here to an item extractor, and you put a lever on there like you do with the normal Ember stuff. If you put something in there and then you do that, it just appears on the ground instantly, which is really cool. So that made me think, like if I put in a whole bunch of items, look at that. That's really awesome. That's extracting. That was 50 something items that I just extracted in a short amount of time. That is really, really good. That's instant point A to point B transfer. And I think that's might be 1 item per tick. I'm not actually sure if that's 1 item per tick, but that's really fast. So this, you know, I was kind of like, why would I ever want to use that before? Now I might have some actual use for it. That seems very, very useful. But anyway, so we have the item pipes done. We have the fluid pipes done. We have the fluid extractors. We have this hopper thing. Yeah, I was just kind of setting this up to test with it because like I said, I don't think I've ever used that before, and it actually seems more useful than I initially thought it was going to be. But anyway, so that quest is now complete, so we can claim the reward for that. So the next thing is to make DAWNSTONE, but in order to make DAWNSTONE, we need to have Ember activators set up somewhere. So I guess we can set that up over here. So this will burn the Ember shards and it will emit it using this emitter thing. But if we're going to have like multiple melters, one of them for like gold and one of them for copper, yeah, we are going to need to get ourselves more of these Ember emitter things. And then we got to connect them to this. But the receiver, I think it receives on the bottom, if I remember correctly. It's been a little bit of time since I last did this, like I've said before. And then we need the hammer thing. I thought it was called a tinker hammer. I'm actually, oh, you know what? I put the Ember stuff over in this chest over here. Yeah. So it's called a tinker's hammer. So the way that works, I think, seems backwards. You have to right click or shift right click on where you want the Ember to go to. And then right click onto the sender. So now that should send the Ember over here. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make another melter. And then we'll get some things hooked up. So hopefully we can make some DAWNSTONE real quick. Because we need the melter to go into the centrifuge. We need another melter to go into the centrifuge. And then this needs to go into a stamper. But anyway, like I said, let me do this and we'll be right back. All right, guys. So we are just about to get started here to do our little bit of embers to start off. So we have our Ember emitters. All 4 of them we have on each side of our activator here. Then we also have 4 Ember receptors, 1 on each of our melters, 1 on our centrifuge, and 1 on our stamper over here. So the stamper has to be 1 block above. There has to be an airspace between the stamper and the stamping base. Then we have to put this bar stamp on the stamper. And then when we fill this full of fluid, it'll stamp and automatically eject the items. I think if you put underneath the base what's called a bin, it's like a hopper from Embers. It will collect the items that this thing stamps, but that's not really necessary right now. So anyway, let's get back in here. We want DAWNSTONE. So DAWNSTONE, actually we have to go into the quest because the recipe doesn't show up, does it? Gold and copper alloy. Now I believe it's 1 to 1. So you need 1 gold for every copper. So there's 8 copper. How are we doing on gold? We don't have 8 gold ingots, so we will put a block over here and that. All right. So we will put 8 gold into this guy. We'll put 8 copper into this guy. And yeah, we need to start feeding in Ember into our Ember emitter thing here, our Ember activator. So with a hopper, we're just pushing that right into the Ember activator, just feeding right in. So now we got to turn on these levers to push the Ember out, or I guess turn on the emitters. So each one of our receptors has its own emitter. So they are all getting the stuff that they need. Now these guys right here, the melters, are melting the copper and the gold that we put in there. So we have to turn on these levers here. So that will go over into the center fudge. We'll turn this, whoop, not that, this. Turn that one on. So we're putting both gold and copper into here. And you can see here, we now have molten DAWNSTONE. So we can extract out of this. And yeah, we will just start stamping out our DAWNSTONE into ingots. So that's pretty much all there is to Embers. It's not very intuitive unless you've done it before or you've watched somebody else do it. But yeah, that's fairly straightforward as far as magic mods go. But anyway, guys, I think we have run out of time for this episode. We got up and running with Embers, which is fantastic. We're making DAWNSTONE, which is a great first step. But yep, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.